before you shoot. Is that too intimidating? How about more like, before you shoot? It's like a plea. No, that's too subservient, right? I don't know. I spent a lot of time thinking about how to deliver this simple message. I've been trying to work out what's my tone of voice, what's most appropriate. Which is strange because I consider myself to be a what you see is what you get kind of person. Or like a bring your whole self to work kind of person. But when it comes to the topic of race, I've struggled. I've struggled to get the right balance. And it's a problem because you know what my average reaction is when faced with racism at work? Nothing. It's like poker face. Meanwhile, inside, the blood starts to boil. It's like a sort of dizzying kind of violence, you know? And the issue is, it means that I've become complicit in letting too many anti-black comments go unchecked. Which is why I really need to talk to you about something. It sort of goes, before you shoot your next campaign, it's time to call times up on the ad industry's dirty secret of racist casting calls. It's a practice of excluding and deleting, stereotyping black people in advertising. And it's been this quiet act of violence endured by too many people, including myself, for so long. And now the world is waiting, at last, for brands who have been quick to respond to Black Lives Matter, but very slow on actual system change. So it's time for action. Because we can't stand back and expect advertising industry to change just because we wish it to. No. Each of us needs to take action, big or small. I joined some incredible Black Lives Matter demonstrations in Amsterdam. And to be honest, it filled me with this sort of new energy. But then I quickly realized that wasn't enough. I have to do more. After 15 years in marketing, despite many small efforts of resistance, I have to face the fact that I have become an insider in a system that needs fixing. Being an insider does have advantages, though. It gives us the ability to deploy insider tactics, to change our system. So I tried to do that. I took the tools and I tried to use them at my disposal. I conducted research into an area of anti-blackness that is too often overlooked: race in advertising casting. At the beginning of the month, I sent out a simple survey to everyone I know in marketing. And so far, 500 people have responded from brands and agencies and production companies all around the world. And the results came with hundreds of personal comments, which reinforced my experience. And I want to thank everybody who participated for that, because it makes a massive difference in momentum. But the results also alerted me to the scale of the problem. So I learned that things like 70% of people surveyed believe that we need more black people in advertising in order to represent an inclusive society. And then you get the little voice in your head that says, does that mean that we need a token black person in every ad? No, it doesn't. It means that people believe that we have a way to go forwards before we achieve better representation. So we need to work on it. And we need to work on it together. The research also revealed that in order to make progress, we need to take action immediately in one simple area: stopping the practice of giving anti-black feedback and making anti-black requests. Let me break it down for you. It's racist to request black people be removed from casting briefs to avoid embarrassment of not selecting them later. It's also racist to actively select light-skinned mixed race cast because the others are too dark-skinned. It's racist to blame feedback from local markets as the reason for deleting black cast. Spoiler alert, Russia, China, Poland, Germany, Sweden. Guess what? They have black people. It's racist to typecast black people in stereotypical black roles, like the colourful urban guy, the athlete, the musician, or the sassy black girl. And finally, one of my favourites, it's racist to get through the entire production process only to request non-black edits for certain markets. Or even worse, retouching brown skin so that it's lighter. But people across the industry are calling times up on these degrading racist casting practices. The racist casting practices that undermine the inclusive values that most brands have publicly committed to supporting. It gets nuanced as well, because so many people have told me about the coded language. The coded language. Let's just call it what it is. Sneaky racism. Let me give you a couple of examples. So, you've got situations like, we need the cast to be classy, in like a sort of metropolitan way. Decode that to no urban black roles. Or how about, we need someone aspirational. Decode that one to Asian consumers aspire to the Western look, the white Western look. Or we want to reflect our local audiences. Decode that one to, can we find some top European runners who are not black? Anti-black language is offensive, and it's unprofessional. And it's time that we move forward. Because 94% of people surveyed believe the ad industry needs to take action on racist decision-making in the casting process. Did you hear that? 94%. The evidence is unequivocal. It seems like we're ready to take a real system change. It's time to make a pledge. Right. Here are 3 steps towards using your power to effect real change. Number 1, before you shoot, speak up or be complicit. It sounds easy. It's not. It's really hard. We've all been there. But this time it's time to speak up or be complicit in anti-black casting decisions. And it doesn't matter if you're junior or senior. If you're in the room or on the email, you are a decision maker. The difference is now you can be safe in the knowledge that you're not alone in wanting and demanding change. Another 91% of people surveyed consider racial profiling to be a problem in the advertising casting process. Yeah, that's 91%. 70% of people have witnessed people being excluded from ad casting because they were black. What does it mean? It means it's time to stand up. It means it's time to make a change. The second thing we need to do is, before you shoot, demand black decision makers. Demand that more black people in your agency, brand and production teams. Because you can't just expect it from your partners. You need to deliver it in your own company. The 3 biggest causes of black people being excluded or stereotyped in advertising is a lack of knowledge in the team, blaming on stakeholder feedback, or a belief that it's not a priority for brands in the first place. The fastest route to change is having black people at the decision-making table. And the third point is, before you shoot, demand a safe forum for discussion. And this one's really important and nuanced. Demand that your team members, managers, clients commit to creating the forum that allows you to call them out on anti-black or stereotyped casting decisions. Within that, it's important to have protocols to effect change every time it's needed. And this one is especially important because for everyone who speaks up on behalf of inclusive casting, 52% was shut down or ignored. And 70% of people said that they do not have a safe workspace to share and work through questions of race. Which means we need a universal agreement that forums and processes will be provided to safely discuss anti-blackness. And it's actually that simple. 3 steps. Look, we have the power to tell stories that persuade people to think and act differently. We have the power to shoot commercials safe in the knowledge that millions of people will watch them. And we have the power to make people cry or laugh or buy the new shiny things. But now it's time to use our privileged positions to promote a vibrant, inclusive society every time. Before you shoot your next advertising campaign, commit to this simple pledge for anti-racist casting. Number 1, I will speak up or be complicit in anti-black casting decisions. Number 2, I will demand black decision makers in the casting process. And number 3, I will demand a safe forum for discussing incidents of anti-black casting. I need to stress this is not about tokenism. It's about stopping racism in the casting process. In the end, this is me. I'm a mixed-race kid who grew up labelled black. So I found myself in a world that I didn't see myself reflected in. And I've been lucky, I've built a career in marketing, and I now feel responsible for leaving it less racist than I found it. I recognise now that my fight is not just in the streets, it's in the boardroom of powerful corporations. So I'm making this pledge, and now it's over to you.
Is Lion's Live.